Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, richarddwyer.com. I've previously done some videos on Ethereum and on Dash, cryptocurrencies. Right? I believe millennials are getting terrible advice on finances. I believe they're waking up to the fact that government issued money, fiat currency, might not be something to risk your financial future on. Right? That these student loans, that this debt that an older generation told them would be easy to pay off isn't easy to pay off. That there's economic uncertainty. Right? Let me say too, I believe there's a further structural problem. There's a truth here that's being uncovered. I believe a lot of well-intentioned people go into politics, right? I believe they enter politics thinking, hey, I'm going to change the world. But given the debt right now, that is a reality in the United States, right? The government debt. Given the fact that this reality seems to be prevalent globally, right? The European Union, the problems with Greece, the problems with Spain, the problems with Italy, the problem with China right now. Right? Given that governments time and time again run up too much debt, make poor forecasts in budgeting, right? Given that some of the people running for the highest office in the land don't have backgrounds in finance, at least haven't been successful managing their own finances, right? What do you know about Bernie Sanders when he was in his 30s, how he was doing financially? Aren't you a little concerned that part of Ted Cruz's wealth, and we'll put that word in quotes, comes from borrowing money from Goldman Sachs? Aren't you a little nervous when you hear that Marco Rubio had personal financial problems? It wasn't until he wrote a book that he started to turn the corner, right? Isn't that in fact the story with the current president, Barack Obama? Now, I believe these people enter the political arena meaning well, right? But understand, a lot of finance is counterintuitive, right? If you don't understand price discovery, if you're a little bit unclear on how free markets operate, how if you change one thing, if you put in price controls, that could lead to shortages, right? Bad policy can actually lead to less product, not more product. I'm sure many people think, hey, I'm just going to go into politics and I'm going to fight poverty. And then they end up creating poverty. Look at the wealth distribution or misdistribution right now in the United States. Look at the debt level for every family if you allocate the national debt to American citizens, right? Right now, the government wants you to believe that there's no inflation, right? Perhaps, though, you've gone to a Burger King and you've ordered a double Whopper with cheese. Perhaps you were stunned when they came back with the price, which may have been over $6. Perhaps you even remember when that very burger, not too long ago, was $2 cheaper. Maybe you've gone to Chipotle. Maybe you've ordered a steak burrito with avocado, as I have, only to hear that the bill is over $10. Right? There seems to be a gap between government stories and the personal realities of many of us. So, while government's telling us everything's hunky-dory, while you're looking at all these economies around the globe suffer, right? You're hearing words like bailout, right? the word bailout keeps getting closer to home, right? Now we're hearing Puerto Rico's having problems. Understand, in this backdrop, you have Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal, right? A fellow alum of Stanford Law School, right? An entrepreneur. You have him saying that everything is overpriced, right? That the prices are too high, that the prices really don't reflect supply and demand. Maybe you've found that as you've shopped at places other than Burger King and Chipotle. Well, let's talk about great inflation hedges in history. Let's talk about an investment opportunity right now that is just screaming at all of us, right? Obviously, I believe in Ethereum and I believe in Dash. Let me tell you something else I believe in. History. Historically, right, going back a long time, the gold-silver ratio, right? And gold is a great hedge on inflation. Understand, the government doesn't issue gold, right? Its price, theoretically, should be determined by supply and demand. Some well-meaning politician whose own personal financial history might be spotty, but who thinks they have the answer to solving poverty or getting votes, whatever the motivation, right, really doesn't have the power to manipulate the price of gold or the price of silver like they do the ability to just print more U.S. currency, right? Now, understand historically, going back centuries, the gold-silver ratio, right, the price of gold divided by the price of silver, has been around 16 to 18, right? You go back through history, that's been the number. I know in the 20th century, it popped a bit, getting as high as 100, right? But normally, it's between 16 and 18, right? These precious metals, they are what they are, right? Gold is the same as it was 2,000, 4,000 years ago, right? Silver, the same thing. I believe in reversion to the mean. Now, right now, gold is selling at a little bit less on the date of this video. A little bit less than $1,228 an ounce, right? If silver were trading at the 16 ratio that it has historically, silver should be at $76.75 an ounce, right? Remember that number. We'll call it $76. We'll even be conservative here, right? Incredibly, silver today is trading at $16.23. Think about it, right? This is the same silver that's always been, right? In fact, if anything, there's less silver today than historically, because silver, of course, has a lot of commercial uses, right? Think about it. Silver is trading at a fraction of what it has historically. Well, today, we have learned that erstwhile bank, the one having all kinds of derivative exposure problems, right, Deutsche Bank, has actually admitted to playing a role in manipulating the global price of silver, right? There's a lawsuit. Believe it or not, Deutsche Bank settled the lawsuit. There are other players. Deutsche Bank is going to cooperate with the plaintiffs in providing information on how the market was rigged, how it was manipulated, how silver was depressed, how the price was kept artificially low, right? Deutsche Bank is basically saying, hey, we need to settle this case. and we'll cooperate with you. We'll give you text messages. I'm guessing these text messages are going to say more than, "Hey Bob, how's it going?" Right? Text messages relevant to the manipulation of the price of silver. Now, my point to you is simply this. When you have precious metals that have been around longer than most of these companies, if not all of these companies that have issued stock that are publicly traded, right? When you have precious metals that have literally centuries of price history, when you know the historical prices of one precious metal against another, and when you have a big current market player admit that the price is being manipulated, and when you do the math, right, not trigonometry, not calculus, but just simple arithmetic, when you do the math and find out that silver should be, let's say, over $70 an ounce if it were trading in line with history, and is actually trading at a little bit more than $16 an ounce. And when you do the research, and I'm encouraging everyone here online to do the research, and find out that gold itself might be depressed artificially by market players right now. The gold price might be depressed, right? I would encourage people to look at the work of Jim Rickards here online. Look at his most recent book. Then the value of silver as an investment right now screams out at you, right? Silver, simply put, based on historical averages, is an even more attractive investment than gold right now, right? Just take a look. Silver, by the way, not too long ago was over $40 an ounce. Now it's trading at a little bit more than $16 an ounce. Think about it. So if you're open-minded, and if you have lost a little bit of your blind faith in government-issued fiat currency, if you're looking at that dollar while you stand in front of the cashier at Burger King, and if it dawns on you that the dollar you're holding doesn't go as far at that restaurant as it used to, and if you start questioning the information you're getting from such intellectuals as, let's say, Janet Yellen, if you start doubting the party line, if you look back now, and if you remember how Alan Greenspan used to be viewed and how he's viewed today, and if you have any concerns about the amount of debt in society, then I would encourage you to research the price of silver. This is one of the best values I have come across, right? I'm a skeptic of government-issued money. I'm a skeptic of well-meaning politicians trying to tell us about the state of the economy, right? I trust prices more than I trust statements from Senator Bernie Sanders, right? Who I'm sure means well. I don't mean to disparage his presidential campaign in any way, right? Ted Cruz, right? Same thing, right? Marco Rubio, who is now out of the presidential race. But you really need to ask yourself, do you believe these politicians as much as you believe your own two eyes when you see how far your dollar is going at a Burger King or at a Chipotle? Do you believe people today when they try to tell you what the value of silver should be, when you have hundreds of years of price history regarding silver's relationship to the price of gold? So give silver a look. I think you're going to be astonished. We now have a market player, Deutsche Bank, one of the biggest banks globally, coming out and settling a case in which they were accused of manipulating the price of silver and promising to cooperate with the plaintiff in providing the plaintiff with evidence of that manipulation. Think about it. I believe silver is worth a look. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. You know, in my opinion, it's all a casino. Right? Prices change. Your actions involve risks, whether you know it or not. Invest in yourself wisely. Thanks for stopping by.